So thank you so much for your time in agreeing take part in this new initiative that we have at Steps to Allah, which is called A Glimmer of Hope. Our vision behind this is really to hopefully allow other people that may be looking into Islam, or maybe new reverts that are curious of other people's journey. I myself, being a revert, I can certainly say that it was very helpful to have other reverts to relate to, and I'd love to hear your story, Tara. So perhaps you can just introduce yourself a little bit, your name, your cultural background, and we can go from there.
Yep, my name is Tara Chisnell and I'm 27 years old, and I was Christian raised. I'm English and I've been a revert since 2014.
Yeah, and what was your main reason for reverting?
My husband helped me to come to Islam for the truth, and it's the best thing I ever done, and I thank Allah for the mercy he had on me, guiding me.
Alhamdulillah. And how did you find that transition? Obviously, coming from a Christian background, there's a lot of similarities, but I think there's also a lot of major differences as well. How have you found that?
It was very hard at first, like when I said to my parents, I'm Muslim now, and they're like, no, you're Christian, we've raised you up to be Christian. It was very hard, but this last year, because I've been talking more about the religion, they're coming round, so that's helped me a lot.
Alhamdulillah. And if you had to say like one or a couple of things that really brought you to Islam and for you to know that it was the truth, what would you say that was?
Just the kindness of everyone. Like, people just want to help you all the time, and I find it really nice.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I think when I look to Muslims, those who are really practicing and following the Quran and Sunnah, they generally have the really high moral standards. What were maybe some of the characteristics that really drew you to the Deen?
Just politeness, and don't really know really.
Yeah. Did you know of any other Muslims other than your husband, maybe?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it must be quite a big lifestyle change for you
Oh
to
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
to have gone from obviously being a non-Muslim, single, single and non-Muslim, to suddenly married to a Muslim. That must have been quite a big lifestyle change for you as well.
Yeah,
Um,
it happened fast, but I'm really grateful for it.
and what were some of his characteristics, do you think, that really drew you to him? As a partner, and as well as a Muslim man as well.
Very loyal, very understanding, patient.
Mm.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. What would you say are some of the kind of biggest difficulties that you've faced as a Muslim? For example, from your family. I know some people, like when they revert, when they tell their families, some even are kicked out, or maybe some parents sadly even disown their children. How did your parents and family react to your conversion?
Well, they weren't too bad because they're quite laid back, and at the end of the day, they just want me to be happy. So, and I'm happy.
Alhamdulillah. And did you find it difficult to give up any things in particular? Like, I know, like lots of Muslims, they may struggle when it comes to some of the pleasures that may have indulged in, like alcohol, or other haram activities, for example. Were there anything that you really struggled with?
No, not really, because I never used to go out, and I've always had a small group of friends, so I found that quite easy. Just hard, like you can't eat any, like you have to only eat halal, and if you're out and you're really hungry and there's no halal food, it's very hard.
Yeah, that's definitely difficult, because like when it comes to halal food, obviously around us, there's a lot of options, but for many people, new Muslims, it's difficult to have that level of faith where it's something that you can easily just eat without thinking too much whether it's permissible or not. I mean, how long did it take you to transition to eating completely halal food?
Yeah, it took me a very long time. It's all thanks to my husband telling me what I can eat, what I can't eat, what's halal, what's not.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely something I think even born Muslims, struggle with because what I found is a lot of Muslims, they won't. In fact, I don't think any Muslims will eat pork, but when it comes to halal meat, it seems like they're a bit more lenient. Is that what you found as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Um, so, Tara, what would you say in terms of your Islamic development? I mean, you've come to us, I think about less than a month ago, and I
Yeah.
think I remember you saying that you've been looking into Islam for some time, but you've not really had much support. How has your journey been, before you knew about us, and compared to, since kind of studying with our teacher?
Well, I found it very hard just trying to teach yourself, and that's why it took me so long to learn so much. But since Steps to Allah and Yulis have been helping me, I've learned so much just within a month.
Alhamdulillah, I'm so pleased to hear that. I think a lot of new reverts when they first come into the deen, and they take their shahada, it's great when that happens. But then there's also a lack of support, I realise. And even though that you are married to your husband, he may not be, the best teacher for you, as great
Yeah.
as he may be for you as a husband. But when it comes to really supporting, I think you need someone to really lean on. It could be another sister, it could be a formal teacher. What was it about, I guess, working, or studying with our teacher has been the biggest impact for you?
Just making things so clearer, and like when he reads the Quran, he'll say it in English so we know what it means in our own language as well. That helps.
Alhamdulillah, yeah. I think, for new Muslims, in my experience, you need to really explain things in a very gentle way and in a very non-judgmental way as well. Because, I mean, I'm not sure about you, Tara, but, I think when I first became Muslim, I saw such a huge mix. There's some that were really strict and there was some that were really liberal. It's very difficult to navigate by yourself. So I think, to begin with, I think it's very important to have someone who can hold your hand through the process, simplify the whole thing for you because it can feel quite overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
Um, like for example, with the prayers, how have you found learning the prayers with us?
Oh yeah, so much easier now because you help me say the words correctly, which if I was just to practice myself, I wouldn't be.
Alhamdulillah. I mean, this is another thing. When we come to the deen, it's like we have to suddenly take on this new language, Arabic, that is so foreign to us. Um, and I think having someone who can, correct us or give us that personal feedback, it really, simplifies the whole process. Alhamdulillah. Um, and for those, Tara, who might be, searching for the truth, who might be considering Islam and maybe not ready to take that step, or maybe for those who are unsure, what would you maybe say to them?
Well, if you want the truth, you read the Quran, it makes all sense and it will lead you to the straight path and make you a better human being.
Alhamdulillah. And for those who might be, let's say worried that their family are going to react badly, or maybe they're worried that, maybe it's going to be very difficult for them to give up certain things, what kind of advice would you give them?
With the family, I think it's best just to open up slowly, tell them really good things about the religion. That's what I've done with my parents, and
Mm.
now they're starting to realise that it's good.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I think, oftentimes in my experience, at least, the fear and the anticipation is actually a lot worse than the actually revealing it to them. Um, I've heard of many scenarios where parents actually been really open about it eventually, but then of course I have also heard of the kind of the opposite side. And for those who have had really negative experiences, sadly, just know that there is also support. For example, you can lean on the community, you can reach out to organizations that may be able to assist you. So just to know that you're not alone. So thank you, Jazakallah khair, Tara, for your time, and for sharing a bit about your story. It's a real pleasure always to speak to new reverts and to continue, following up on their journey as well. So thank you very much for your time, Tara.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your help.
And you too. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Bye.